Hey superstars! I am High Energy Holes. I'm a DJ and children's entertainer, and I am getting asked lots of questions about equipment that I use both on stream and at mobile gigs, and I'm also getting asked about planning playlists amongst other stuff. So I kind of just decided that I was just going to start a video series. So if any of you have got any questions, or you're struggling, like say you're just starting out and you're struggling with equipment, or you're struggling with knowing what to do somewhere along the way and how to go about things, or you're just feeling a bit anxious because it can be quite daunting in the beginning, then please do send your questions in, and I will basically cover a video on it for you. I kind of just thought it was better to document videos that you can come back to time and time again to refresh your memory or to remind yourself, etc. So because it is quite a competitive industry, and if there's one thing you really do need to know is you need to know your stuff, and you need to really know your music. If you don't know your music, you are really going to struggle, because you really do need to pull things out the bag sometimes, because you could have a booking and it could be going well, but then it could be getting really hard, because there are tough crowds out there, guys. Sometimes the best you're ever going to get is foot tapping, with people sitting at tables, foot tapping and nodding heads. So there's lots of things that you need to look out for, and that you might encounter, but you have to know that it's fine, because you could go home at the end of the day thinking, I've done a really cruddy job, and 90% of the time I feel like that sometimes, because I'm such a perfectionist. But we're going to keep these videos to topic, because I'm a chatterbox, and it's like verbal diarrhea. I literally say one thing, it rolls off to another thing, and before you know it, we're talking about something that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. So I'm going to have to stick to topics, guys, if we're ever going to get anywhere. So anyway, I got inboxed a question today, so I thought this was a very good place to start. And the question was, hey Holes, I wanted to ask how you prepare your music for your parties. I've done one party so far and planned the playlist exactly and played that music start to finish, but felt it didn't really hit the spot with a lot of people. Now, if there's one thing I can urge you, is don't plan a playlist. Do not do it, okay? I know DJs out there do it, but you just can't. You just really cannot, okay? I don't plan any playlist, not even when I go and play at a rave. I don't even plan, because when I do plan, it goes wrong and I never stick to it, because when I get there, I will look at the crowd and I'll think, this ain't gonna work. These tunes ain't gonna work. You cannot pick songs that you like either. You can't pick songs that you solely like, even if they're your most favorite tracks in the world. You cannot play for yourself. You have to think about the event, you have to think about the crowds, you have to think about what they want, because that is what makes you a successful DJ. Now, yes, part of our job is playing new music that people haven't even discovered yet. Yes, that is part of our job, but it also depends on where we are, what we're doing, and what the job at hand is. Because if it's a wedding, then there is going to be such a very special event that entertainment makes or breaks any event, but it certainly is what makes or breaks a wedding. And it's so crucial, especially at a wedding, because of their first dance. Not all bride and grooms have first dances though, so this is a question you have to ask if you book in a wedding. Please ask the bride and groom, because a lot of them don't like the limelight and they don't want one. So it is a thing now where a lot of them don't have first dances. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but we'll stick to the topic at hand anyway. But it's really important to have a conversation with your client about what they want. So when a client comes to you and they say would like to book you for a party, they will know what that party's for. So it might be 50th birthday, it might be a 16th birthday, it might be a wedding, it might be a children's party. There's an array of things it could be, but next question is, what type of music would you like? So whenever I get an email or an inbox message and I get asked, I'm looking for a DJ, I need a quote, my first questions are, what is the event? And where are you looking to have it? And and then when they say, it's this event, blah blah blah, once I've secured the booking, I will then tell them that I'm happy to accept a small playlist of their favourite tunes and tunes that are important to them, that they really want played, because A, they're going to get what they want, B, it gives me an idea of what their music taste is, and C, I then know what I can incorporate with that music. But then obviously I will then get fueled with requests on the night as well, but I'm very good at reading a room. So there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. There is an art to it. We're not just people that stand there as like, you know, real life jukeboxes where we just press a button and just play whatever. We have to make it work. We have to make it blend. We have to work in, you know, I personally work in genres. You don't necessarily have to, and you can do the, like, if somebody asks for one track and then somebody else comes and asks for another one and they're worlds apart, but say they're leaving in the next 10 minutes, you can make them, but you have to maybe drop down, do a bit of chatting to get it on, because yeah, well, you'll find your own style, but basically you have to make it flow and you have to make it work. So even don't ever say I'm happy to take a playlist. Don't ever say it in those terms. It's all about how you say it, because I have been given pages and pages and pages and pages. Literally, I've had like 24 to 48 hours worth of music, and you know, party at best is, you know, on average they're sort of 4.5 to 5 hours for an adult party. So it's impossible to get that much music into that small window of time. But also, unless they're specific, you don't know which tracks they specifically want played, because even if they say they're not bothered and they've just given you a playlist, you can bet your life they will be. And there is always that one or two, which I have experienced in the past, that even though it was a fantastic party, there was a packed dance floor, and you know, I discerned what music was going to work based on the requests I was getting and the playlist that I had, they still weren't happy at the end of it because there were certain songs that I didn't play. And it's like, well, you have to be specific. If there's certain songs you want played, then you have to have a section where it says must play these. So it's always better to just take a small playlist, but this is where you need to know your music, and you need to know all eras as well, and you need to educate yourself if you don't. And if you're really passionate about music, it will come so easy, because you can just literally be in the car traveling somewhere, playing the music in the car. And that is how I learn new music, guys. When new music comes out in the charts, I always literally play it in the car to learn it, basically. I literally listen to it over and over again in the car. If I know it's going to be a number one, I always know when something's going to be a flop. I know when something's going to be a flop, and I know when something's going to be a number one hit. But I've been doing this 27 years and music is my life, and I've been on a stage since I was 4. So we'll get into that in another video. But the point is, you have to know your music, and you have to educate yourself if you don't. And once you know your music, then it's really, really simple and really easy to direct the direction. That's great, isn't it? That's great English. That is whole flipping heck. You'll know how to direct the music, basically, and discern it from the playlist, from requests that you get on the night. And you have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid with just, you know, oh, I've got this playlist, this is what I'm going to play. You have to read the room. If it's not working, and you'll know if it's not working, because if you haven't got people on the dance floor and you haven't got people enjoying themselves and the atmosphere is not wonderful, then you're doing something wrong. But that doesn't mean you have to sit there and like put your head in your hands and go. You can learn, and it's really easy to learn, and I'm here to help you learn. This is just the first video, guys. So obviously there's going to be other questions, and I don't know if I've even completely answered that right. But I'm aware that 10 minutes is going by really fast, because I'm trying to keep these videos down to 10 minutes because I don't want them to be too long. But I hope that answers your question. But I don't plan sets. I don't plan any playlists, guys. Even when I get given playlists, you know, I will make sure that I've got all the tunes and I'll put them into a list. So like I use Rekordbox software, guys, because I use Pioneer, but we'll get into talking about that in another video. But the idea of what I do is that I will make sure that all the music that they've asked for, that I've got it, and then if I've got the time, I'll put it into a playlist on my Rekordbox so that I know where to find it quickly. But I won't play it in the order that it's in, because there is an art to it. But that again is for another video. So I hope that helps your questions.